Hi, I'm Kumar from Cherry Academy. I'm a tutor for CIMA Online. I've been tutoring for last 17 years or so for CIMA case studies and in objective test question papers. And today I thought I'll share this video on the operational case study, August 2022, which we know is meals at home. And I want to share a few things with you, how to get through this exam. Today I'm recording this on 1st of July, and I believe you all got your results, those who set for the May exam. If you have passed, I say wish you all the best. If you have come down, don't get discouraged. Or if you are sitting for the very first time for this operational case study, what I want is to advise you, to give you a little bit of instructions, how we can manage this exam. We know it's a time-stretched exam. It's a 3-hour paper, but we need to understand it's a practical case study. So we don't have, we are just about first week of July. So in about another 5 weeks time, we should be sitting for this exam. So you need to manage this exam very well. So what I thought was I'll take you through a few other things, time management in particular, how to accumulate marks in this exam. These are some of the things which I want to discuss with you all today. Right. So the key areas in this meals at home question paper, probably on working capital management. We know that in real life, we have these companies like HelloFresh who are looking in terms of just-in-time kind of inventory management. At the moment, we can see in our case study, we do have fair amount of inventory. So working capital management is one of the important topics that any of us should be looking at. So the advantages of going for just-in-time and cash management. Technology, we are a company that is very much in with technology because we are connecting with internet connectivity. Key performance indicators, I would recommend you all to go through this HelloFresh. It's a real case, it's a real company dealing with these meal kits. You might be able to get a lot of information, the kind of key performance indicators, what they should be looking at. Number of active customers, because we are on a subscriber list. Number of active customers, number of orders, orders per customer, average order value, total number of meals in millions. So much of information, the key performance indicators for a company that we should be establishing. We know the budgeting is so important, different kinds of budgeting, all that we will be tested in this case study. You remember you are a finance officer, so you should know all those things. One of the key areas that you would have identified in this company, it's a loss-making company from the day one, but we do have a plan. The budget for this year is talking about a profit or is planned for profit. So we need to work on those areas. So in order to convert a loss-making organization into a profit-making organization, we need to keep on expanding because bulk of the cost is fixed cost. So in order to economize, we need to expand. So companies like HelloFresh, what they have done is they have gone even out of their country to expand their base so that they can achieve economies of scale, which they can reduce the cost. Because very unlikely you can increase the selling prices because you are in a competitive market. So you need to look at expanding your base so that fixed cost will be spread over a larger volume of meals or whatever. And also that we will enjoy economies scale to bulk buy, etc. Product development is so important. Food industry, we know that we all like food. We like to enjoy different recipes. So we do have our one of the directors who is a chef. We might have to support him. Maybe even we might go for a freelance kind of action to get more recipes, more new recipes. These are some of the things Henry Lopez, our recipe development director, need to be backed up, because the critical success factor for this company like this is to keep on developing new recipes. After some time, the old recipes what we have been eating is going to get stale. So to get that competitive advantage, we need to keep on introducing new recipes. Product development is so important. As I said, in order to go for expansion, we might have to reach out of our own country and move into overseas expansions, because right at the moment, this is a company which we are located only in one country, New Land, but business is global. If you look at a company like HelloFresh, I think they are working in 10 geographical countries. So we have been in business for about 10 years. Company like HelloFresh, I think they started even later than this. So probably these are the important areas the board will be looking. You are a finance officer. You only have to give information for them to take appropriate decisions. So when you're giving information on overseas expansion, you might want to work out on models like PESTEL, political, economical, social, technological, that kind of environmental, legal. We need to know how to account for tangible assets, intangible assets, non-current assets and IAS 16, intangible assets and IAS 38. And also, today it's very important that we look at the society and our social responsibilities, how we are going to report upon, how we are going to act upon. We need to remember the social media is very active, particularly being a food industry. Anything, even though we are not a listed company, still established company in business for 10 years or more, we need to be mindful of our social responsibilities, etc. So CIMA Blueprint, I recommend every one of you to read the CIMA Blueprint. That's your Bible for study. It talks about 6 areas which we need to be tested. Prepare costing information for different purposes to meet the needs of the management. So your bosses might ask you, your finance manager might ask you to prepare information about the new product costing. So whenever we want to introduce a new product, we must look at cost benefit, or for that matter, anything what we do, it should go under cost benefit. We have to prepare budgets with information, various kinds of budgets, flexible budgets, product budget. We have to analyze performance, both financial and non-financial information, KPIs. Financial reporting standards, particularly IAS 16, IAS 38, IFRS 5, IAS 2 inventory valuations, discontinuing operations in IFRS 5, leasing, because that's a source of funding that we will have. Being an unlisted company, we don't have the right, or we can't go to the stock market and raise money. So we need to go with other sources of funding, bank finance and lease finance. So IFRS 16, particularly at the operational level, we are tested lessee side of accounting. We need to know some part of those areas. Then also we need to know various corporate governance, tax principles, ethics, CIMA code of ethics. You as the finance officer need to provide information to support short-term decision-making, relevant costing, one-off costing, information to manage working capital, like just-in-time, inventory days, payable days, etc. So there are different I can Excel items on each of these things which you need to know. So you can see the weightage that is given. Certain area there's 18%, there's certain areas 25%. So we need to know the core areas, but we can't neglect any area. All these 6 areas, we should be thorough before we go to the exam. So this is why it's so important. We focus on E1, P1, F1 theory, so that we can develop a good answer to get that pass mark. Your pass mark is 80 out of 150. So you should not get 79. You must get over 80 to get through the exam. You don't need to target for big marks. If you can get 80, 81, 82, 83, okay, all right. If you can get 100, good. That's what we should be looking at. So, as a finance officer, the skills what you should have is communication skills. Even this exam, I saw some students. Communication skills is so important. When you write, because you are writing to your boss, it's a very practical exam. You are talking about maybe cost benefit of introducing a new product. It should be properly communicated. So, should be straightforward, should not be vague, should not use too much of jargon. Very straightforward, simple, short sentences, short paragraphs. So your communication skills need to be built upon. You must have a good knowledge about the economy, digital ecosystem, because we are working in digital era, digitalized era. And our business, we can see, it's very much digitalized. Whatever we do, we have to have something called professional skepticism. We need to have some kind of query in mind. We don't just accept the figures as it is. We just want to go deep into it. We want to go deep into the thing. So before you give information, you must think, you must know whether this information is very well done. Provide information, that's your role. Maybe on new products, maybe going into new markets, maybe some special order that is coming up, peptide relevant costing, how to value your inventory, etc. You must be very professional in your judgment. So knowing your skills, it's so important. We must be absolutely ethical in whatever we do. We have to be ethical, we must model ethical aspects in the company. So we should never subscribe to anything unethical that's going to happen in the company. We have to bring CIMA code of ethics and influence the directors or the senior management. You are a junior officer, I know, but still for all, you are not going to subscribe to anything unethical. So you will stand up and say, this accounting treatment is wrong. This is not the way to value. It should be valued at lower of cost on net realizable value. This is the way to provide depreciation. So these are the things that is expected of a finance officer with the CIMA background. You must know your company very well. For next 5 weeks, you must read your pre-seed very well, know your company to the latest, greatest levels, have a complete awareness of the business. These are the soft skills that you need to build it up going for the exam. So the exam, we know it's a 3-hour paper, split into 4 sections of 45 minutes each. The first section will appear for 45 minutes. The screen will disappear at the 45th minute. The next section will appear 46th to 90th minute, and so on and so forth. So the first section, 45 minutes, we must use it to the maximum advantage to get the maximum marks out of that 45 minutes. Actually, our paper is marked out of 100. Each section carries 25% marks. After doing it after 100, they reconverted it to 150. I don't know the logic behind it, but that's what they do it. So the paper is marked out of 100. So each section, we have to carry 25 marks. So out of 80, out of 150, we should get 80. In other words, out of 100, we should get 54%. So there are 4 sections to get 54%. So if you can get roughly about 14 marks from each section, 14 into 4, 56. But the good news is, you don't need to get 14 marks in every section. Maybe the first section, 45 minutes, is so tough, you collect only 10 marks. But if you can accumulate from the other 3 sections, another 46, 47 marks, you have passed the exam. So we should not get discouraged. Even if the first 45 minutes is tough, there's hope for us in the second, third, and the fourth. Equally weighted, 25% marks for each section. Under each section of 45 minutes, we get a couple of subtasks, what we call subtask 1, 2, 3. And now in the exam, they give marks, percentage marks for those things. So it facilitates you to manage your time for each of the subtasks. I'll come to that one in my next slide. But we must remember, this 45 minutes we have for the section 1, we must utilize it very well. Even if I save 5 minutes, I can't carry forward for the next section. So I should use that 45 minutes to the maximum and get the maximum marks before the second section appears. Same with the second section. I can't save anything and carry forward to the next section. Neither I will have more time in any of the sections. It's exactly 45 minutes, nothing more, nothing less. So we have to look at the task and then decide how are we going to allocate. So it's so important. Of that 45 minutes, we don't start writing the answer straight away. We plan the answer. Now, if you're a boss, if you're working in a company, if he sends an email, you are not going to reply straight away. You will want to think, what am I going to reply? In this question, in this exam, the challenge is to find out exactly what is he asking and be very precise to that one. Be specific to the point he's asking. If he's asking about launching a new product and cost-benefit analysis, talk about the cost, talk about the benefits. Don't talk anything else. Just be specific to the things what they're asking. So first 15 minutes, I must say how many tasks are there in that 45-minute section. Subtask 1, 2, 3. Okay. I will have to decide how many points I'm going to write for subtask 1, how many points I'm going to write for subtask 2, how many points I'm going to write for subtask 3. So very simple. I'll tell you as a formula. If subtask is carrying 40% marks, divided by 10. Divided by 10 to find out how many points. So if the subtask is carrying 40% marks, 4 points. If the second subtask is carrying 30% marks, 3 points. If the third subtask is carrying 30% marks, 3 points. Altogether, for the first section of 45 minutes, we need 10 points. 10 valid, relevant points. If there are only 2 subtasks, one with 60% and the other one with 40%, 60% means 6 points, 40% means 4 points. So if you use this formula, which I'm suggesting, divide it by 10, decide the number of points. Number 1. Then coming to time management, as I said, first 15 minutes, we don't write. We think about what are my 10 points which I'm going to write. Read the question, read the scenario, and list out my 10 points. Section 1, 4 points. Subtask 1, 4 points. Subtask 2, 3 points. Subtask 3, 3 points. I list it out. Just put it up bullet form on the screen itself. Last 5 minutes, that is 41st to 45th minute, I don't write anything. I just want to see what I wrote, whether it is all right. Because when your superior officer asks for some details, you don't just type it. Without reading, you don't push the send button. You will want to see whether everything is all right. So 15 minutes at the beginning, 5 minutes at the end, we don't write. So then we are left with another 25 minutes of writing. That 25 minutes, depending on the percentage of marks, I divide it by 4. If it is 40% marks, I allocate 10 minutes. If it is 30% marks, I allocate 7.5 minutes. If it is 20% marks, I allocate 5 minutes. Divide it by 4. To get the number of points, divide it by 10. To get the number of minutes, divided by 4. So, each section, I will allocate 25 minutes of writing, and each minute, or rather, that means 10 minutes for 40%. 10 minutes means I will write 10 sentences for 10 minutes. 10 sentences for 10 minutes. So if you have 4 points in each paragraph, roughly about 2 to 3 sentences I will write. Roughly about 3 sentences. For each point, 3 sentences. So that's roughly about 12 sentences, 10 sentences, it should be all right. Short sentences, short paragraph. As I said, in the section 1, you will have 25 marks out of 100. So that means 25 minutes writing, 25 sentences means every minute is a mark. Every sentence is a mark. So you should manage your time very well. Write only the relevant things. If you write irrelevant thing, you don't get marks. And you are lost a valuable 1 minute. Try to find out to write 25 relevant sentences divided into those 10 points, divided into 2 or 3 subsections, whatever we have, write it. So roughly about each paragraph should be 3 sentence paragraph, short sentences. That's what we should do. Short, clear sentences. Each minute, we should have a typing skill of about 20 words. So 25 minutes of writing means I should have 500 words. So if my first section subtask is 40% marks, I will allocate 10 minutes. So I should be writing about 200 words. You don't need to be exactly precise of 200 words. You can write 180 words, you can write 220 words. But you can't get marks of that 40% validity if you write just about 50 words or 60 words. And also if you try to overwrite, more than 200 words, spending more than 10 minutes, you will run short of time for the other sections. The key is to answer every subtask. If there are 3 subtasks, now if I imagine your superior officer is asking 3 things from you. If you just write 2 things and send it, is that enough? No. We must identify that by that first 15 minutes, we must spend time to identify what are the points I'm going to write on the first subtask, what are the points I'm going to write on the second subtask, what are the points I'm going to write on the third subtask. Allocate the time, allocate the points, and then start writing. Once you write, go and delete those 10 bullet points what you wrote. Don't keep it in the answer script. Delete it. But why I put it in that 10 on the computer screen itself is so that I don't miss any of the points. But within that 40 minutes, before we enter the 41st minute, I must finish up everything. So for example, in the first section, you are supposed to write 25 sentences. 25 marks you have. So to pass the exam, you need about 54%. That means roughly about 14 sentences should be right minimum to get through the exam. 14 good sentences should be done. That's how we do the time management. So remember again, each section, you get a couple of subtasks. Divide it by 10 to find out number of points I should write. Divided by 4 to find out number of minutes I should allocate. Each minute I should be writing a sentence, 1 sentence in a minute. Each minute means a mark for me. It's not that difficult if you plan it very well. It's so important that we keep on planning. So as I said, the answer script is marked out of 100, but then they convert it into 150. And your results are given out of 150, you need to get 80. In other words, 54% of the marks you need to get in. Now, you will go to the CIMA website and you will see some past papers with some answer scripts. It's good to read some of those answers just to get an idea or to get knowledge. But I tell you, don't get intimidated by those answers. Those answers are written not from a student's point of view. They are very comprehensive answers, covering up much more than what is expected of an average student. In fact, I say those answers are worth 225 out of 150. But what you need is 80 out of 150. So if you can write one of those CIMA answers, 1/3 of those answers, or little more than 1/3, you can get to this exam. So have hope. Don't get carried away by those answers. Oh my goodness, how to write these answers. No, it's not necessary. This is your first case study, because after that you'll have a managerial case study. After that, you will have a strategic case study. My experience says operational case study is the most difficult case study, because that's the first time we are doing a case study. And even the theory-wise, it's too much compared to strategic level and managerial. So somehow get through this exam. I can guarantee you, the managerial level and strategic level exams are not so difficult as the operational case study. So something for you to work on hard. Work hard. Try to find out about this company. Right. Sorry. Right. So this is what we should do it. Because there are 3 variants in this exam. You will be sitting for one variant. I will be sitting for another variant. So therefore, some variants are difficult, some variants are easy. So I think through the software model, they do something when they convert it to 150. If it's a difficult variant, they do a certain adjustment so that, that every student is given equitable kind of treatment when it comes to the pass or failure of the exam. So this is what we should do. Like in a cricket match, every run matters. Every score matters. Every minute matters. In a cricket match, we know every ball matters. Here, every minute matters. Try to work it through the answer slowly. So that is what we need to look at here. Then answer script marking. Now, when it comes to the answer script marking, there are 3 levels. So each answer, if you're going to get 3 marks for the answer, say for example, if there are, shall we say that 40% marks for subsection 40%, that means we are looking for 4 points. In that 4 points, that is when you divide it by 10, we are looking at 4 points. For that 4 points, we must write 3 sentences. Each point, we must write 3 sentences. Now, what are the 3 sentences that I should write? Now, there is what we call a level 1 answer. There is something called a level 2 answer. Now, let's think about cost-benefit analysis of launching a new product. So if you are writing a cost-benefit analysis, if you just write listing few benefits and cost without explanation. Now, for example, when you try to launch a new product, you might have lot of benefits, lots of costs that we can talk about. So maybe things like cost can be recipe development and testing. Maybe benefits like to stay on top of the market or whatever it may be. If you just list out those things without giving explanation, it will be just, you will carry only 1/3 of the marks. So if that section has 10 marks, and if you just keep on listing, you will get only 3 marks. Not enough to pass the exam. Because to pass the exam, you need at least 54%. So out of 10, 3 marks is only 33 marks, level 1 answer. If you go and list many benefits and cost and explain the point, applying to the meals at home, the case study, pre-seen, and also to the unseen, whatever they are, you can double the marks and get it to level 2 marks, 2 out of 3. If we can get 2 out of 3, that means 67% marks, you have passed the exam. But I would recommend you go to the level 3, list, explain, apply well to meals at home. For example, if it is cost-benefit analysis, talk about the benefit of introducing new meals. Why we should keep on introducing new meal kit ranges. Because we are basically looking at this younger generation. There are people who are looking for different palettes. So if you can keep on expanding on that 3rd sentence, that one. First sentence, you list it. Second sentence, you try to explain it. 3rd sentence, you apply it to the case study. That's what a level 3 answer is. So this is what I would encourage you to look at. So not that, even though I say it's not easy in the exam to do it. So this is why it's so important. We practice a lot of mocks and work with mocks. So this is where I can help you all at any time. If any of you all have any questions, clarification, please WhatsApp me. I will help you all. So my WhatsApp number is +9477 321-9387. My name is Kumar from Sri Lanka. So you can WhatsApp and I will try to explain anything to you all. If you all need any tuition, I provide online tuition at very, very reasonable rates. I do mocks. I mark your papers and I will help you with all kinds of information to get through this exam. So you must attempt a level 3 answer, at least a level 2 answer. But level 1 answer is not good. So some people just, because they don't know this marking scheme, they just write, list it out, not going deep into it, trying to explain. When you write the answer, it's like an email. It's an email. Now you and I, sometimes we get emails. Sometimes the email is so boring from the very beginning, we don't read it. We just trash it, put it to the trash. Sometimes it's all right, but it's not so exciting. So I don't read it now. I say I will read it later, but I will never read it. But if your email is so exciting from the word 1, then I will start reading. Now your email, what you are sending to your boss, should be the 3rd time. It should be so exciting. It should be very short, precise, with all the points covered up, so that he will not feel bored of reading that one. This is what the answer that you should write in our exam. So these are some of the points which I want to talk up with you all. So to get through this exam, now there are 5 weeks to 6 weeks, I think, you must set a good mindset. If you are a praying child, pray to God, have belief in yourself, go for a mindset, yes, I can excel. Yes, I'm going to do it. Look at this annual report of HelloFresh. If you want a copy, just send me a WhatsApp, +9477 321 9387, +9477 321 9387. I'll send you a report, a copy for you to read it. Improve your typing skills. You need to write about 20 words per minute. Don't write Kaplan textbook to the examiner, because this is not objective test paper. This is application of that theory, what you learn, into the practice. So don't write just models or, that kind of thing. Apply the model. Take the pestle model. Say, I'm applying the pestle model to analyze this overseas expansion, and keep on doing. Always think that you are an employee. So actually, you are not a senior manager, you are a finance officer. Look at that one from a finance officer point of view, your role. You are not a decision maker, but you support the decision making by giving right information. So therefore, they rely on your information. Don't speed read during the exam. Now, this is one mistake many students do. They don't read it carefully. There is reference material. Each word should be very specifically read. So important, because in case study papers I have seen, there is nothing called irrelevant information. The pre-scene, you must have a very good knowledge of the pre-scene. You must read that unseen very carefully. Find out exactly what they're asking. Be specific to the point. If they're asking cost, don't write about benefit. If they're asking benefits, don't write about the cost. If they're asking cost and benefits, then write cost and benefits. Be very specific to what they're asking. If they have to make a recommendation, make a recommendation. That's how you should get through this exam. You don't need to do bold and underlining and etc. But have some paragraph in every point, 3-sentence paragraphs, short paragraphs, short sentences. Try to put the subheadings. If there are 3 subsections, subtasks, put up the tree subheadings and do it. That's enough. I can guarantee you, if you do this exam in that way, you can never fail this exam. You can get more than 8. I have had students getting 110, 115. But if you can get 90, 95, that's enough. You have passed the exam. What matters is passing the exam. So once again, I'm Kumar from Cherry Academy from Sri Lanka. My WhatsApp number is +94 77 321 9387. If you all need any tuition at very affordable rates, call me. If you need any assistance in study material or whatever, call me. I will provide free of charge many of these things. Of course, tuition will be at a fee. And my dream, my desire is to ensure that you all get through the exam. So thank you very much. If you all need any information, please call me +94 77 321 9387. I'm Kumar from Sri Lanka. I'm a senior member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, FCMA. So this is my video for you all on the OCS. I'll be doing more videos in the next couple of days with some mock exams, mock questions. Keep watching these things. And I wish every one of you the very best for August exams. Thank you very much. God bless you all.